Well, hello, my friends. My name is Eric Lambert, and welcome to the Woodpicker studio. If you happen to enjoy what we do here, please like and subscribe. We're building an audience, and we'd love you to be part of it, particularly if you like what we're doing. And what we do is talk about guitar playing. I teach a lot. I get a lot of questions. I perform live a lot. I get a lot of real-world experience. And with that knowledge, I answer questions and explain things like I would be explaining them to my students. And one of the most common questions I get, and I've been getting them for years, and I've had to learn how to answer the question is, how do I learn how to solo, and how do I learn the neck of the instrument and understand where I'm going and what I'm doing? Because at first glance, it is a long, dark hallway, long, dark alleyway, and it's a dangerous place to go by yourself, because it just doesn't make sense at first glance. And, oftentimes I'll hear folks talk about scales and talk about modes. And honestly, that doesn't explain a lot to me. I do know two scales. I can say that. Of course, I know my minor pentatonic scale, which was the first thing we learned, down in Steve Levak's basement when we were, 13, 14. And of course, when the Allman Brothers and Dickie Betts put Jessica on the Brothers and Sisters album, all of a sudden I began to recognize what a major sounding scale sounded like. And I learned a major scale. And since then, I've been using those two forms of scale, minor pentatonic and a major scale, combined with my knowledge of chords, to teach me what's going on up here and to teach me how to solo in a tune and not be lost and not be searching and not be guessing and feeling real comfortable about it, And one of the first things I learned from my good friend Dan Kataya back in about 1975 was learn chord shapes and learn how to play inside them. Gather all the information that a chord shape will offer you, as well as how they're applied in a chord progression. And then you just have this deep, deep, deep well of information, And those chord shapes I refer to are the movable chord shapes, sometimes called bar chords. And there's three basic bar chords, of course. The E shape turns into a bar chord, which can move all over the neck of the instrument. The A chord can turn into a bar chord, which can travel all over the neck of the instrument. And the C chord can also become a closed shape or a bar chord that can play all over the neck of the instrument. Then, of course, to understand that those three basic shapes can break down into smaller shapes. Stuff like that. And that inside those shapes, every one of those shapes has a 1, a 3, and a 5. Not always in that order, but when you look at your shape and you analyze it, you begin to figure out in what order and where those scale degrees are, and then that leads you into learning where how to flat the third, how to flat the seventh, how to flat the five, how to apply some passing tones, so on and so forth. But in my world, the key is understanding those chord shapes, understanding the chord progression of the song we're trying to solo over. And then I'm just deciding whether or not I want it to sound minor-ish or bluesy, or major, happy, Jessica, or a combination of the two. And even when I'm playing the blues, I can apply the minor bluesy sound, let's say to the 1 chord, also the 4 chord, and then I can start messing with the 5 chord and start making it sound a little more interesting from the knowledge of the chords and the chord progression that I've learned over the years. Anyway, sure, there's some stuff to unpack there, and it doesn't happen overnight. But to begin your quest into that knowledge is what's really important, because if you sit down and you dig into that stuff, you're just going to learn and learn and learn. And, one of the first things I share with students is, okay, find the G chords. Let's play a 1-4-5 chord progression in the key of G. First thing you do, find those G chords for me. Well, it could be, that big, I call them boat anchors, that big 6-string boat anchor bar chord. But you can break that in half and use that shape. And here's a funny shape. It's not a chord that I think I've ever played, but it's a chord that I need to know is there. Also, this one, that full C shape, but of course that can get smaller. That's a nice one to use. There's a lot of opportunity in that shape. That shape can even break down into a smaller thing like this. I mean, it looks like a D shape now, right? From your first position. Then, of course, our A shape shows up here. A lot of electric guitar players may approach it like that. I like to know that that is there. Or this. All forms of the G chord. And once I get comfortable and I can identify where those are, then I can start mapping my way through those shapes. And, I'm not trying to write a symphony here or anything. I'm just trying to get used to visualizing and understanding where those shapes are. Then I might ask a student to find the C chords, And again, just get comfortable with where they're located, and just try to create a line that works through the shapes. Oh, I forgot one. That wacky, shape that I never play it as a chord, but knowing that it's there, it'll guide me and give me places to create those road maps. Anyway, I don't want this to be an hour-long discussion about chord shapes and chord progressions and learning to play through them. But to answer the question, how do I get to know the fretboard, fingerboard, and how to solo chord shapes, chord progressions, understand the 1, 3, and 5, understand the passing tones. Get in there, create it, figure it out. And if you have some questions about it, you can always ask me. I'm easy to find. I'm open 24/7. With that, I want to finish up and say thanks for hanging out. And you've stayed to the end. Congratulations. Please do like and subscribe so that we can help build this channel. And send me some questions, man. What do you want to know more about? I know a few things about this instrument, and I'd love to share it. So we'll talk to you soon. See ya.